You mentioned that the enemy is legacy carriers and legacy thinking. And that's what you're arguing or fighting against. How would you describe British Airways? And do you not think it would be a bolder thing to try and compete with them from London so that other people can't take that space?
I've been given a very clear mandate. My job is not to change British Airways. My job is to set up open skies. I think we've learned from some of the lessons over the past that no sense having two brands inside of one PLC competing against one another. I think British Airways has pretty effectively held out a very strong product proposition, and I think now more and more, pretty good value proposition too. The fact that no one else has taken that space is not because people haven't tried. I think they've tried, but they just haven't been able to get there. We've been given a very clear mission, which is to take advantage of the Open Skies Treaty and build some revenue out of the European base directly to the eastern part of the United States, and to create a contrast media of sorts, so that BA can learn what are some best practices, what are some new ways of doing things, how do you break some bureaucracy, all those kinds of things, so we can compare and contrast. And maybe there's some things in the BA camp that they can learn, maybe not, but that's the mission of the company, and we're going to stay true to that, I think.
What are the areas, the business areas where you work together with BA? We talked already a little bit, I think, from a technical standpoint.
Sure.
You have some
from a technical standpoint, we'll use them for engineering. We'll use them for some below the wing support at Kennedy and Newark. Where we can, and BA is the low cost bidder on that. They'll get the business, and where they aren't, they don't. And they always learn when that happens where they're, so it's like a check and balance for them. I think we've used a fair amount of BA systems over time, but over time going forward, we'll try to make that much simpler and actually detach ourselves a little bit from a systems point of view. We're a simple airline point to point. We want to keep it that way and not get tied into systems that are really so built for a company with 40,000 people, not for a company with 200 people.
Branson used to say the best way to become a millionaire is to start as a billionaire and start an airline. Knowing what you do now, do you think you've created value for BA through starting Open Skies?
Yeah, I do. I think, and the support that we get from British Airways will be based on our success. We'll either make it or we won't make it. And their support, if we're a viable business, they'll be supportive of it. If we're not, we don't deserve it. And we know that. And that's terrific. I think there have been a lot of good learning lessons already from this. There's also been, some good understanding with regard to labor relations in the pilot community for British Airways, which was a very big milestone for them, actually, that came about because of Open Skies. And I think us attacking the premium market from Europe to New York, and perhaps over time to other places on the East Coast, and perhaps even other times to places going further east, I think provides a great hedge for BA. And I think, our business plan was for 5 years, and we're within a whisper of where we said we would try to be at about this time. So time will tell, Andy, but I think we have a hell of a shot at it. Who would have thought 25 years ago the wall would come down? So, who would have thought 25 years ago Southwest Airlines would be the biggest in America?